Childhood is where I learned the joys of being outdoors, in the woods, the fields, even in the mountains. Those sorts of opportunities, however, pass right by many people. There is a program in Boston that seeks to change all that. Stick around. You'll get to meet the folks who run it. Welcome to Windows to the Wild. I'm Willem Lang. When I heard that the mission of Elevate Youth is to encourage young people to explore the outdoors, I thought about my own childhood experiences. Then I learned about the program's focus on developing a generation of diverse environmental stewards. And I thought, we need to share this story. Joining me to help do that is Alec Griswold. He founded Elevate Youth. Thanks for asking us along today.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Oh, well, if it didn't get much colder, it's going to be a pleasure. What's up for us today?
So we're here out in Duxbury, and we are at a cranberry bog.
I noticed that right away, yeah.
Pretty amazing. You know, it's a special New England feature, right? I think cranberries are definitely something I think of here in the New England area.
Yeah.
And for today is part of our outdoor cooking section. So each month during the year, we have a different sort of activity that we're focused on.
Yeah.
And then we're working towards that in the school. And then this is sort of our capstone at the end of the month to get outside and go explore what we've been talking about for the past 3 weeks.
I believe in you.
Just do it.
I believe in you. Go.
So today we're here at this cranberry bog to go learn about how cranberries are harvested. We are going to harvest some our own, and then we're going to go over across the road. We're going to start a fire, and we're going to do some outdoor cooking. My name is Alec.
Alex spends a lot of time outdoors. It's part of his job at Elevate Youth, and it's what he knows.
All right, guys, you ready? I grew up in Maryland and grew up on a horse farm, and was just lucky enough to kind of, get home from school and drop my backpack and just run out the door and go make forts or throw rocks and just kind of be immersed in nature. And I think that really had an effect on me growing up and certainly kind of where I am as an adult. I've been lucky enough to guide and spend time in different countries and different activities in the outdoors, and it kind of opens your mind to what's out there. So is that the aperture there?
Alec eventually got to Boston.
No, because
He knew he wanted to work with young people and began to volunteer with Big Brothers. What he didn't know is where that would take him.
Cool. Should we go see if we can find the otter? I guess it was 12 years ago now. I became a Big Brother through Big Brothers Big Sisters. And my little brother Miguel was a very shy kid from East Boston. And I think it was our second or third outing that we decided to go for a hike. And after that hike, he just kind of opened up and was like, almost a different kid and just, really kind of talking about everything that was going on. And I said, wow, that was really interesting. And, and the next time we went fishing and it was like, boom, he's like, this is incredible. I can do this, within walking distance of my house. So that really was kind of the catalyst of my experience in the outdoors, and then reliving that through, a young boy from East Boston and saying, wow, there is this power that is really not being tapped into for the majority of kids living in the city. So that was sort of, the major catalyst for Elevate Youth.
Hey, Elevate Youth, you want to make a circle over here?
When the students are outside, so is Waddy Stryker. He's one of the outdoor program instructors.
Our goal is to be able to introduce these activities for youth who may not have the chance to have these activities, whether that's due to location or economic status or social status or anything like that, and have them be able to take that as they carry on in their life.
The students are at a cranberry bog today.
Can you shimmy over to the next crack?
Other times it might be in the mountains or on the water or at a neighborhood park. You hope that they will become environmental stewards.
Yes, that is our hope. Our model is really set. It's not a one and done experience for our kids, right? It's a year-long program and actually a multi-year-long program.
Yeah.
So really it's creating that healthy habit of getting outdoors, feeling that sense of comfort in the outdoors. A lot of our kids come from lower income neighborhoods. They are about 80% youth of color. So having that sense of belonging and that sense of comfort in an outdoor space is extremely important. So creating that and then giving them the skills, not only outdoor skills, but life skills to reach their full potential, that's our ultimate goal. And when one says, hey, I want to really focus on the environment or I want to be a rock climber, then we're going to support them as much as we can. And if one says, hey, I want to be a tech engineer, then we're going to say, great, we'll find the program that's going to support you in that effort as well.
Nice. They're great.
That's what one of them did yesterday too. They smashed them off in their hands.
I've been a part since 5th grade, so last year. But with my brother, he used to do Elevate Youth when he was like in either 5th or 6th grade, and I would come on some of their over the summer trips, which were fun.
Those experiences must have had an impact on Victoria. She's back for a second year.
I like the adventures that we go on. We like to leave school early for field trips, and the amount of fun that we have every time we have like a field trip where we're in school.
And while you're having fun, are you learning anything?
Yes. Like we learn a lot of new skills. I learned how to skateboard. I learned how to ski. I learned how to take pictures with photography. I learned about different things in nature.
We have a couple new faces with us today. So let's go around and say our name and maybe your favorite cranberry flavored item or food.
My name is Autumn, and I never had cranberries before.
Hi, my name is Dre. I like cranberry juice.
I like cranberry juice with a little bit of pineapple juice mixed for a nice punch.
Oh, yeah. At the Cranberry Bog, we met Chaya Harris. It's not our first meeting. Several years ago, we filmed with Chaya on Mount Washington and on New Hampshire's coast. She was the program director for Outdoor Afro, a national program that inspires Black leadership in nature. Chaya is now a board member with Elevate Youth.
I'm a board member with Elevate Youth because I think it's a great organization, and it's important that our students and our young people have access to nature, that they're able to have leadership experiences in the outdoors, and that they're able to build lasting connections with mentors alongside these great experiences in the outdoors.
Over here.
I don't know, I'm tempted to taste it.
Now, there's a focus in this program on diversity, right, and inclusion. That's important because
our young people need to know that they belong in these spaces and they belong in the outdoors. And it's an organization that I wish I had when I was younger.
If we all look back towards the middle of this path right there, there's an area where the water will come in and fill up around the edges, then it fills up on top of it.
and some of you become mentors or sort of advisors.
So with us being a year-round programs, we sort of take that mentor role because we see these kids once a week throughout the whole school year and even throughout the summer. So it's very much not we just take them out on a trip and it's the only time we see them. We meet with them once a week after school for like 3 weeks. We'll teach about fishing. And then on the 4th week, we'll go fishing.
What fishing?
Yeah. So we do fishing, we do skiing, we do this outdoor cooking, we do kayaking, hiking. So just a whole bunch of different activities.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
No! Why are you so scared, bro? Why are you holding on to this? No, bro, I can do this.
What do you think of these kids?
Kids are kids, anywhere. They're just great to be around. Some are private, some aren't. Some are hanging on, some are leading. It's just, I love it. Takes me back.
These cranberries are from my Christmas present.
Each individual is different, right? And so maybe you have a very shy kid in the beginning. And by, let's say, session 10, you're seeing that kid sort of get more involved with other kids and making friends. Maybe that kid isn't going to be a professional mountain climber or really get involved in the outdoors, but seeing that evolution of a kid to kind of break out of that shell and then really get involved and be social with others, that's a huge win, right? So beyond sort of the outdoor skills, we're focused on the social and emotional learning skills. So really kind of building those soft skills that make kids, flourish as they move forward in their education and life. It's a bonus when a kid says, I want to be a mountain climber, or I want to be a skier, and we'll support them in any way we can. But the real focus is trying to build those soft skills within the kids that we work with.
I can't. Ow! Yeah, there are going to be some thorns. Sorry, should have warned you about that. Yeah.
We're going to leave the cranberry bog for a bit and take you to Blue Hills Reservation in Milton, Massachusetts. That's where the Elevate Youth folks were recently practicing their photography skills.
Cool. Awesome. Are we excited to go for a little hike and some photography? Watch your head. Awesome.
Outings like this are a challenge for some families. Transportation can be a barrier to the outdoors. Elevate Youth vans pick students up at the school and bring them back at the end of the day.
When you're a kid living in the city, especially maybe Dorchester, transportation's a huge one, right? We're here in the Blue Hills, which actually is accessible by a bus, but it's pretty hard to put together. There's no real easy way to figure out, okay, I can get here from home A to B. So transportation's huge. And I think for the majority of the families that we work with and serve, they're working families. They're, mom and dad or grandma is working 7 days a week. And so it's tough for kids to be able to say, hey, I need a ride this way, or I need to get this place. So transportation's a huge barrier to access.
Before we pass out the cameras, what are some things we need to be aware of when we have our camera?
I didn't really get in the outdoors until I was in college, and that's where I really started going outdoors. And now I would have loved to start it earlier, so now I'm in an opportunity where I can show kids this environment at this time.
Today's outing is more than a hike in the woods. Every student is handed a camera. They have a canvas and a creative imagination.
Oh, look at that. It's awesome. You can't even tell there's a fence in that one. I love photography. Photography is such a great sort of mechanism to introduce.
That's really cool.
The first thing I learned very quickly is when you say we're going for a hike, that doesn't really excite a lot of kids immediately, right? They're like, we're going to walk around the woods. I just don't get it. But when you add another component there, and this being a camera, you kind of have that skill and then that almost superpower, right? Where they're able to capture a moment and then save that moment. And I think that's really what I love about this section of photography is these kids create their own images. We print them out. They have that. We show them in their school, so it's up on a big board. And there's that sense of agency and excitement about, I went out, I learned this, I did this, here it is. It's a visual thing that they can point to and have for, the rest of their lives, which is pretty powerful.
I've been in this Elevate Youth program since 4th grade.
Vladimir is a 6th grade student from Dorchester.
Why did you want to get involved in this program?
Mostly because of the awesome field trips, and the other half is just for me to experience Elevate Youth because most of my friends were going there, so I decided to sign up. When I was younger, me and my brother, we used to sometimes go outside and just play. But like as I got older, I didn't really go outside as much. But Elevate Youth, like we go outside a lot.
We just gotta pick a different word.
Dang, that was a good picture.
What kept you inside?
The pandemic mostly. It was electronics. Yeah, it was just we were all quarantined and we couldn't really go like all the places that we wanted to go to.
So when that number is really, really high, it makes it dark. And if actually you want to take it down a little bit lower, without programs like these, I think it will be really easy for, especially now, kids to get stuck in a like rut of video games, which I myself enjoy video games too, but I think there's some to be said about being outside and what nature has to provide, whether that's for your mental health, whether that's for your physical health, being outside and exercising. And there is always a chance of losing that in our society. So being able to instill those type of things when you're young, it can be carried on throughout their life and also throughout their kids' life and generations to come.
John, all right, let's see. You got 9? All right, let's see them. Let's see how different they are. All right, those all check out. Well done. Oh, I see some similar ones in here, Daisy.
No.
I think that's canceled. Oh, that's a nice one, though. Look at that one.
All right, so let's see. If right now is the arrow facing Elliott Tower?
Yes.
All right, so that means Elliott Tower would be in front of us.
Outdoor learning isn't part of many school curriculums. Even though research shows there are many benefits to it, a nationwide sample suggests about 21% of classrooms go outside.
Yeah, look at these. Like, what do we think that is? Some sort of, what's making those?
Probably like bite marks or tracks.
Yeah, like tracks, right?
And that's on our list.
One of the greatest quotes I've ever heard from one of our kids is, "Are we going to see polar bears today?" Right? And I said, boy, I really hope not, because then we're really lost, or that bear's really lost. But yeah, it goes back to that sort of, lack of education around the outdoors. So there's a lot of fear if you don't know something. So do we know the name of what animal poop is in the wild when you see it?
I still think it's wild.
Wild poop? I think that's a really good answer. So the word I'm thinking of starts with an S and rhymes with bat.
Bat. That.
Close. What's a animal you might have at home that is a pet?
A cat. A scat.
Scat. You nailed it. A lot of our kids, don't have that education around the environment and really what's out here. So there is that kind of fear of the unknown. And I think once they're able to feel that sort of sense of comfort and belonging within the outdoors, that fear is easily kind of overtaken by enjoyment. It's a real polar bear, guys.
Oh, it's from Polar Bear?
It's from Polar Bear Place.
Carter's. Oh.
I don't know how...
Not
not a real one? No, not a real one.
So we did find polar bear.
We did find a polar bear today. See? You never know what you're going to find.
Yeah, awesome.
Last winter, we learned how to ski. There was an all-group field trip. I think it was Wachusett Mountain. And then we did an all-girls skiing trip. Yeah, with like all the 5th and 6th grade girls. It was really fun. I loved the cabins. They looked like movie-like, and all the girls, we got together, like we got along
a lot.
Skiing's one of my favorite because it's that real kind of outside your comfort zone moment where you can see a kid, looking at these boots that he's got on his feet and saying, what are we doing here? And looking up at this mountain. And then by the end of the day, you have to pull these kids off the mountain because they're just so excited.
When I first went, I was really scared. I thought I was going to fall because they were like telling you to brace yourself. And then once I finally got the hang of it, I was like, this is actually really fun.
I love seeing that sort of, getting outside that comfort zone, overcoming that with the support of, positive adult role models, and then just having those kids really excited and light up and and wanting to go back the next day. Pretty special.
Yeah, this is a cool rock.
So flat.
Flat rock.
So that's what you kind of hope this program will do for these kids, right?
Absolutely. It's like building our future outdoor leaders for tomorrow.
Well, that's nice. Do we need more outdoor leaders?
We definitely need more outdoor leaders and more outdoor leaders of color to make sure that we're able to say, hey, Black people are getting outside. Black people are doing the thing.
Yeah, they are. That's great. And this, if we get enough kids to do it and mentor them properly and get them pointed in the right direction, each one will have a different interest, won't he, as he gets out of this. Some will be administrative, some will be leaders, others will be, who knows, maybe laboratory technician. Is that what you hope?
Yeah, that's such a good point that the outdoors provides professional pathways as well. Like you said, it could be careers in marketing and technical aspects, all kinds of different things in the outdoors.
There are challenges, of course. Bring any large group of people together, and there are bound to be a few hurdles to clear.
There's a lot of challenges, for sure. I think in a group setting, you have the behavioral issues of 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th graders, right? We really focus on that middle school age.
There's plenty of other sticks around.
And as you know, middle school is a pretty awkward time. So there's navigating that aspect of it, right? And sort of navigating all that comes into becoming an adult in those years. But I would say we don't have any challenges as far as kids, right? They're all amazing kids in their own right. And yes, some will go different directions and choose other paths. But as long as they're with us, we're supporting them. We're giving them, whatever they need to be, reach their full potential.
For our go-around question today, or at least the first one, I guess, is can everybody tell me one thing they were proud about themselves today, and also one thing they're proud about somebody else today?
I'm proud of taking good photos of the water, and I'm proud of Daisy because she took lots of good photos, and I think we all know that.
Have you got any results so far? This program's been around for a few years.
Yes, and our students are more confident, they are happier, and they know that they can face adversity and challenges from their experiences in the outdoors, and they want to keep coming back.
I think that you should join Elevate Youth because you would have a lot of fun outside. You can learn many different skills that you might need, like lifelong, like first aid, and they teach you good skills that you use lifelong.
One bite review.
In 2016, Alec created Elevate Youth. He found inspiration from his little brother, Miguel. The seeds, however, were planted long before that. They grew from a gift of a childhood spent outdoors.
I wouldn't say there was one thing. I think it was really, something that my dad said when I was growing up. It's like, if you're given something in life, you should be able to share that with other folks. And that sort of stuck with me and still does to this day. And I think, I saw that problem, and it was certainly something that, is now more kind of public facing, that there is the problem of diversity, equity, and inclusion within our outdoor space. And it's just like, well, if, who's going to solve this problem? It needs to be, community led and really focused on sort of a youth led kind of initiative. And I think that's really, when I started to really look into it and talk to people that were in this world, I said, this needs to happen, and this needs to happen now.
Well, I want to thank you for what you're, just having us here today. It's been great. And I'll be thinking of you now. And You got lots to do.
They keep us busy. They keep us busy, that's for sure. Well, we so glad to have you. It was such a fun day, and glad we had some sunshine, and now we got the fire.
Yeah.
So
What you're doing is worth doing, too, you know?
no, I appreciate it.
That's just great.
Yeah.
Thank you. But which, of course, brings us to the part of the show that I hate, I like the least, when we have to say goodbye. But we do, and so we shall. I'm Willem Lang, and I hope to see you all again on Windows to the Wild. Support for the production of Windows to the Wild is provided by the Alice J. Reen Charitable Trust, Bailey Charitable Foundation, the Fuller Foundation, Rhodes Scholar, and viewers like you. Thank you.
Make a gift to the wild and support the Willem Lang Endowment Fund, established by a friend of New Hampshire PBS, to learn how you can keep environmental, nature, and outdoor programming possible for years to come. Call our development team at 603-868-4467. Thank you.